Hello people, my name is Rafael. I want to make a video to talk a little bit about the solar system. What is the solar system? The solar system is a planetary system. In any planetary system there is at least one star, and our star is the Sun, and all the planets gravitate around the Sun. 99% of the mass of the solar system is within the Sun, and only 0.1% of the mass of the solar system is spread in the other bodies, like the planets, satellites, the moons, comets, asteroids, dust, and so forth. Let's begin talking about the Sun. The Sun is a star, and as all stars, it's mainly composed of hydrogen and helium. Why does the Sun emit this amount of energy? It emits this amount of energy because of its gravity. There is a lot of mass within the Sun. As we saw, 99% of the mass of the solar system is within the Sun. So there is a lot of mass in the Sun. And this enormous amount of mass create a strong gravity. What does gravity then do? Gravity tries to compress the mass of the Sun to a smaller and smaller region. But as the atoms get closer together, they fuse, and this process of fusion, this reaction, emits energy, and the energy that is emitted from this reaction makes the star expand. Then there is this fight, where gravity wants the Sun to be compressed and the fusion wants the Sun to expand. In the end, gravity will win. Gravity always wins. But luckily, the Sun has enough hydrogen to fight its own gravity for at least 10 billion years. Okay, now let's talk about the planets. The first planet from the Sun is Mercury. Mercury is very hot, because it's very close to the Sun. It's so hot that lead exists in its liquid form on the surface of Mercury. What more I can say about Mercury? Mercury is the smallest of the rocky planets. The other rocky planets are Mars, the Earth, and Venus. So, Mercury is hot, we cannot survive in Mercury, and it's the smallest of the rocky planets, and it's the closest to the Sun. The second planet from the Sun is Venus. Venus is roughly the same size of the Earth being a little bit larger than Venus. The Venus atmosphere is too dense and poisonous. We cannot survive on Venus because its atmosphere is so poisonous that if we breathe there, we'd be poisoned instantaneously. We'd die instantaneously. Apart from that, its atmosphere is so thick, and that we'd be squashed to the ground because of the pressure. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about the third planet from the Sun, which is the Earth. The Earth is our house, our home. We know a lot about the Earth. I think we know everything about the Earth. We know its core, we know its crust, and its atmosphere. The Earth has life, which is a unique characteristic of the Earth. The Earth has life because it is in the habitable zone of the Sun. The habitable zone is the zone around any star where there can exist liquid water. Then, as there is the possibility of finding liquid water on the surface of the Earth, this is the main feature that makes it livable or habitable. The fourth planet from the Sun is Mars. Mars is also in the habitable zone of the Sun. It's believed that Mars sustained liquid water in the past, but not in the present. And it's also believed that there was life on Mars in the past, like billions of years ago. One theory also says that life on Earth came from Mars, but it's just a theory. We don't have any proof of that. Mars is smaller than the Earth, about half the size of the Earth, and Mars doesn't have the same magnetic field as the Earth does. And one of the features that the Earth has that allows it to have life is its magnetic field. So, being in the habitable zone permits it to have liquid water, and a strong magnetic field permits it to have life, because this magnetic field shields the planet from the solar wind, which is a harm to life. So, away from the Sun, passing through Mars, there is an asteroid belt, a region between the orbits of Jupiter and Mars, composed of asteroids, comets, meteorites, meteors. These objects can be the size of a ball, basketball, soccer ball, and they can be the size of cars, or even have kilometers of diameter. We have to keep an eye on them, because if one of them gets attracted to the Earth, we can have an extinction of life on Earth, as it happened in the time of the dinosaurs. But luckily, we have our big brother, Jupiter. Jupiter is like a protector to the Earth, because Jupiter is so more massive than the Earth. Anybody, any asteroid, comet that gets closer to the Earth will be attracted to Jupiter and not to the Earth, because the gravitational force that Jupiter exerts is much more intense than the gravitational force of the Earth. And then, already talking about Jupiter, let's talk a little bit more about this planet. Jupiter is very similar to the Sun, and Jupiter is composed of hydrogen and helium, as the Sun does. And you say, so what is the difference between the Sun and Jupiter? The Sun is a star and it emits energy, and Jupiter is a planet and it doesn't emit energy. So what is the difference? The difference is in the mass. In fact, if Jupiter had at least 3 times more its mass, it would have become a brown dwarf, which is a star. But Jupiter doesn't have enough mass for its gravity to compress its atoms, and it start fusing hydrogen and helium. Because of that, Jupiter did not become a star, and we consider Jupiter as a planet. Okay, Jupiter is then very similar to the Sun. It doesn't have enough mass to fuse hydrogen or helium, and it's the protector of the Earth, because any asteroid or comet that gets closer to the inner planets will be attracted to Jupiter and not to the Earth, and then Jupiter is one of the responsibles for life on Earth. Away from Jupiter, there is Saturn. Saturn is similar to Jupiter, but it's a little bit smaller. One of the main characteristics of Saturn, which differentiates it from the other planets, is its visible rings. If we have a telescope, amateur telescope, we can see the rings of Saturn, and it's thought of as being the most beautiful body in the solar system, Saturn. Moving on from Saturn, we have Uranus, and we have Neptune. Uranus and Neptune are similar to each other, and they are the planets farthest away from the Sun, and they receive much less energy than the Sun does, than the Earth does, and for that reason they are cold worlds. Okay, now that we have talked about the planets, let's talk a little bit about the moons. The Earth has a moon, which we all know and can see through our naked eyes. Everybody can open the window and look up to the sky and see the moon when the sky is clear. But the moon is not the only satellite in the solar system. There are many satellites. Jupiter has many satellites, dozens of satellites. The biggest satellite, the largest satellite in the solar system, is a satellite of Jupiter, which is called Ganymede. The second largest satellite in the solar system is called Titan, and Titan is a satellite of Saturn. So the largest satellites are Ganymede, which is a satellite of Jupiter, and Titan, which is a satellite of Saturn. Okay, and the other planets, Uranus and Neptune, also have satellites.